Well, the PlayStation Showcase just landed hard, and we got a lot to talk about. I'm not going to waste any time here. Hi, folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the 20 biggest surprises from the PlayStation event. And number 20, it's Marathon from Bungie, which is a series of games that came out long before Halo and widely regarded as a spiritual predecessor to them. These are widely regarded as the first FPSs to concentrate heavily on story. They are some pretty cool games, too. I missed them when they originally came out because I didn't have a Mac, but a few years later I was able to play them. They have a more advanced engine than Doom, in which they were capable of having rooms on top of rooms. Not as capable as 3D Realms' build engine, but it's interesting for some reasons beyond just its story and gameplay. That being said, it didn't look a whole lot like the thing that we saw Bungie show off today. We're not just talking completely different art direction, but this is not a remake of the original Marathon. It's actually a PvP extraction shooter. And on top of that, apparently there is an overarching game narrative that is going to somehow unfold with player input. I don't know exactly how this is going to work out. It's very early. This was probably not even gameplay we saw, but it sure looks cool, I'll say that. And number 19 is Arizona Sunshine 2, sequel to the other PlayStation VR title of the same name for the PlayStation VR2, which is a vastly superior headset to the original. It features the same protagonist, same post-apocalyptic world, basically Arizona with zombies, but also adding a four-legged companion. This shooter's probably going to be pretty darn cool. I think the original was pretty darn cool, and what we saw of it looks honestly like a big step up from the first. At number 18 is Phantom Blade Zero, which, if you were to combine Bloodborne with Wolong Fallen Dynasty and, I guess Unreal Engine 5, because holy crap, it looks great, in terms of graphics at least, we have basically what seems to be Souls-like set in sort of a Japan samurai era, although it is heightened with the gothic aesthetic, just dripping with goth. Also lots of hats. Look at these hats, man. I'll say it does look a little bit more fast-paced than Bloodborne, or really any typical Souls-like. That's definitely not a detriment, though. I wouldn't say it looks like Bayonetta or anything, but it's definitely got me intrigued. I do want to see more, though, because, I mean, really, this kind of dropped out of nowhere, and we know nothing about it from anywhere else. And number 17, the Night in the Woods developers are back with a new game called Revenant Hill. It does have the same kind of spooky vibe to it. Alone in the Woods is actually one of my favorite games of that genre. It's just this kind of weird unveiling of existential dread over a fairly long period of time that combines some mild platforming and some narrative stuff that really comes together well. The art style is back, which I'm quite happy about. I love this game. There's really nothing else quite like it. This is an interesting game. It has some survival elements as well as community building elements. It takes place in 1919. You play as a cat who was living in a barn that burnt down. And apparently there's a lot of stuff like growing crops and creating hexes, like witch stuff. Apparently, some element of this is becoming a witch's familiar. There's a blog post on Sony's website, semi-explaining what's going on, but I'm gonna warn you, if you read it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It does look very cool, though. And number 16 is Fairgames, a competitive heist experience is what it's billed. To be frank, this is a crazy looking game. We've had heist games before, right? I don't think I've seen a heist game that looks like what they're basically pitching this thing as. It's kinda cyberpunk, but not quite. The other high-profile heist game we saw recently took more of like a Fortnite aesthetic to it. This is much, much, much bigger than that. Much more detailed, much more expansive looking. I want to say it's got some elements of Payday, maybe a little bit of The Division in there. I'm not 100% sure on that. And I have to imagine that there will also be some influence from Grand Theft Auto Online, because it seems like most heist games derive something from that. But we don't really know a hell of a lot about the gameplay, just that it looks cool as hell, and I definitely want to try it out. And number 15 is Helldivers 2, a sequel to the top-down shooter that goes full third person. It's a co-op shooter. It looks as hectic as the original. I don't know if you ever played the original. It's a pretty arcadey top-down shooter, and this doesn't look super different, but at the same time, it looks very different. I think that the sort of Starship Troopers tone is there. I think that the gameplay looks pretty similar, but the new perspective makes me wonder exactly how it's going to feel in comparison to the original. I think it looks favorable. It's been quite a while since 2015's Helldivers, and to be frank, I think this was a good idea and a good move. This was probably the way to return to that franchise. Apparently, it's coming out this year sometime too, so keep your eyes peeled for more information. At number 14 is Sword of the Sea, an absolutely gorgeous surfing game from the creators of Journey. Yeah, there are basically sliding segments in Journey, and the best I can say is that this looks essentially like that. I'm not sure if this is a desert, if this is an ocean. Actually kind of looks like a mystical combination of the two. This looks like everything that you would want in kind of a spiritual successor to Journey with a completely new focus. Maybe not gameplay mechanic, but certainly focus. For me, this is an absolute must-play. I am a huge fan of Journey. At number 13 is the Talos Principle 2. Still Talos Principle. That's a joke. That's not the name of it. To be frank, the Talos Principle, a first-person puzzle game from 2015. Not really something I thought we'd see a sequel to anytime soon, because they've sure taken their sweet time on that. That being said, oh yes, I am there for it. This is a beautiful looking addition to the Talos Principle mythology. I don't know exactly what's going on here. It's a puzzle game. It's Talos Principle, so there's going to be obviously a narrative that's complex and intertwined with a bunch of actual puzzles. But it looks beautiful. I mean, of course we want more Talos Principle. It's such a good game. It's coming this year too, so again, eyes peeled. We will have more information soon. At number 12 is Neva, an absolutely beautiful whatever type of game this. I don't know exactly what type of game it is. It's a platforming game, but it's not really shown off exactly what kind of platforming game it is. My assumption, probably somewhere along the lines of a Metroidvania, judging on some of the screenshots out there that are outside of the animated trailer, which, by the way, is incredible. Probably the one thing we really have anything to go off of is Gris, their previous game, which is kind of a Metroidvania-inspired linear level-based game. I don't know exactly how much of that is going to move over to Neva. Neva, however, has an absolutely enthralling look to it. Fantastic previous game. Neva looks cool as hell. Very unique looking information. One of those ones we're going to need more information, but it is coming out on pretty much everything in 2024. So it might be a little longer before I know more about this one. And number 11 is Ultros. No, not a reference to the monster in the Final Fantasy series. Ultros is a side-scrolling psychedelic action platformer, and wowie, it has a unique look to it. I'm actually not somebody who loves psychedelic imagery, but I think that this looks consistent enough that I'm not bothered by the color palette. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. We don't know a whole hell of a lot about it other than what you're seeing, and what you're seeing looks pretty good. I'm fairly in, although I need to know more, so as soon as we're able to, we'll pass along more info. This one is a 2024 release as well, so we'll probably hear more about it sometime in the near future. At number 10 is Dragon's Dogma 2, which, man, I had forgotten they were even making that. So when they came in with this hype-ass trailer, I just... Yes, thank you. Thank you. I basically wasn't sure if we were ever going to hear about this one again. The gameplay looks quite good. Dragon's Dogma, obviously a great game. A little dated in terms of what it looks like nowadays. Not so much anymore. This is a pretty good looking game as far as I'm concerned. I mean, who's going to complain about more Dragon's Dogma? The original action RPG with the great, intense narrative and fantastic, enjoyable combat. Like, frankly, I'm just ready for more Dragon's Dogma. Duh. I don't even know what else there is to say. Dragon's Dogma is just a perfect example of an action RPG hack and slash classic. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Capcom. And number 9 is Foamstars, which comes to us from, get ready for this, Square Enix. For about a second seeing this trailer, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, well, Square decided to make Splatoon. And then after a few minutes, I realized, wait, there's way more going on here than Splatoon. For one, Foamstars, you do not splat ink, you shoot foam, which you can surf on rather than dive underneath. And the foam mountains function as like terrain. That's, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, enough to get me in the door. To be frank, I love Splatoon. Splatoon is a fantastic game. And after getting past the initial, it's Splatoon feeling, it's not Splatoon. It's definitely inspired by Splatoon, but if this is actually put out competently, this looks great. Obviously, there's a lot more to find out about this one, but like, imagine the sort of hiding that you could do here that's just not possible in Splatoon. You could make little foam forts and hide in them. I love it. I love the idea. And number 8 is Concord, which comes to us from new developer Firewalk Studios. It's a PvP multiplayer first-person shooter with a distinctly 1980s feel to it, albeit obviously it looks well beyond what was possible for anything in the 1980s. Definitely cool music. I don't know what's going on. We got a teaser. It's a cool-looking teaser with some great music, but that's really all we know about it. It's a competitive PvP shooter. If they figure out a way to make a game that is as cool as this looks and sounds, I'm there. Bring it. And number 7, we got a little talk from Jim Ryan. He basically introduced a couple of things that are linked together. Firstly, Sony's going to go hard with cloud gaming. Now, PlayStation Now, it's probably a beta compared to what they're talking about here, because they also introduced a brand new handheld that's essentially a DualShock controller with a really nice screen, to be frank. But beyond that, they also introduced these PlayStation wireless earbuds, which two things I think they're probably primarily existing for, outside of the obvious, which is to hook up to your PlayStation and not bother people in your living room. Firstly, they're probably going to go along with the handheld and the cloud gaming, and I think that that's a fantastic idea, because as much as I love playing games on handhelds, the Nintendo Switch is a constant in my life. Steam Deck, big deal for me. This probably will be as well. The internal speakers always suck. An official pair of earbuds that just works really well. Also, Sony's earbuds are very good, just period. But also, I like the idea that you could pair these with the PSVR. The PSVR2 is a huge upgrade from PSVR 1, but in terms of audio, the earbud situation on them is just, it leaves a lot to be desired. If you can plug in these wireless earbuds for that, we are in business. And number 5 is Ghostrunner 2. If you remember Ghostrunner, it's a pretty slick cyber ninja slasher with a lot of wall running. In here, they teased a new motorbike in the game, and that's obviously going to put a completely different dynamic into it. To be frank, Ghostrunner is a tough game, and I really enjoyed it, so it's nice to see it. Like, they did say they were going to make Ghostrunner 2, but that was a while ago. I had kind of forgotten about it, but I'm happy to see it back, and I'm happy to see this bike. And number 5 is Destiny 2, The Final Shape. I mean, it's not really a huge surprise that Destiny 2 is back, but it's nice to see Cade back. Nathan Fillion, a fantastic actor. Enjoy hearing him. Enjoy seeing him in another Destiny game. Bungie particularly busy this time around, to be frank. And The Final Shape is being pitched as the conclusion to the 10-year Light and Darkness saga that's been going on in Destiny for quite a while. Obviously, 10 years. That's a long time. Full decade. And frankly, what better way to go out? And number 4, we saw the Alan Wake sequel trailer. To be frank, ever since the Control DLC, I have been on the edge of my seat waiting for this. First off, Alan Wake 1, fantastic game. Second off, Control, fantastic game. Introduced a connected universe that includes Alan Wake and gave us a DLC that, again, fantastic. It took the Control stuff and gave us Alan Wake stuff in the Control stuff. There's not a lot to talk about other than the fact that the Federal Bureau of Control is probably involved. You seem to be playing as an FBI agent. You got a coat that says FBI on it. It looks like you do end up playing as Alan Wake and this FBI agent. My guess, the FBI agent has no idea what she's getting into. And again, there's of course going to be be more crossover stuff between Control and Alan Wake, because they are building a connected universe that, while I am not personally a fan of connected universes at this point, I think we have enough of them, there is nothing that could be better for a connected universe than these games and the stuff that Remedy's come up with. I'm so excited for Alan Wake 2. And also, you know what? We got a release date, October 17th. I'm so there. And number 3 is Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we got gameplay of finally. And wow, does it look like an Assassin's Creed game? And that may sound underwhelmed, but it actually isn't. I love the big Assassin's Creed games, and I love the small Assassin's Creed games. I'm so excited for a new, smaller, more focused Assassin's Creed game, like the classics. And it looks like it's gonna live up to it. It doesn't look like the world is small, though, keep in mind. Beyond that, though, man, it looks good. And number 2 is Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater stuff. Firstly, and most importantly, a full remake that looks to be quite faithful to the original, maintaining the original dialogue and everything, called Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is coming, and wow, looks good. The trailer, shockingly good. Konami really hasn't been investigating doing, I guess, good things in terms of AAA games for a while, so to see something that actually felt cinematic and of quality come out of Konami was a bit of a shock for me, but yeah, I'm there. I am totally there. There's also a Metal Gear Solid Master Collection coming with the first 3 games, the original versions, which I'm also there for. And, I mean, Metal Gear Solid Resurgence? Yes, absolutely, thank you. No unicorn zombies, and we're good. This stuff is supposedly coming in fall. No exact date yet, so we'll see, but I'm ready. And finally, at number 1, we saw what Spider-Man 2 is going to look like. So Peter Parker's got a symbiote and some much more brutal brawling. It looks, to be frank, quite a lot of fun. Got a lot of smacking, a lot of cracking. But Miles Morales is also returning with some bioelectric powers. So we got 2 Spider-Men with 2 distinct sets of moves. And that's exactly what they should have done. Like, this is the perfect progression of the original Spider-Man. Everything here looks fantastic. If you love the original Spider-Man game as much as I do, this is fantastic. I am so ready for this. This is fantastic. Look at this. Look at Spider-Man 2. I can't wait to get my hands on this. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe and don't forget to enable notifications. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.